On Trendz today, ADC vows to displace Tinubu's administration, cites intimidation as barrier for intending governors. Charlie Boy blasts Lagos State government's local government over renaming of Charlie Boy bus stops. Minister Umahi rebukes Kwankwaso's claims of northern marginalization in road projects. Super Falcons crowned WAFCON champions for 10th time after thrilling victory. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Trendz with LJE, where we dissect leadership, economic and justice issues in Nigeria, Africa and the globe. I'm your host, Mohammed Eneye Sule, and you too can be a part of this conversation by dropping your comments on our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram at LJE Nigeria. Joining me today, of course, is a development strategist and a political and society analyst whom I shall be introducing after the break. Stay tuned.
Camera rolling. Light set. Sound check. And action.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's program. A program where we get to talk about the daily lawyers dissect legal issues with intent to educate.
This is the perfect space to create professional quality videos, recording news, podcasts, and all media content. With top-of-the-line cameras, studio lighting, soundproof spaces, we provide everything you need for a seamless shoot. Our fully equipped studio ensures high-quality production every time. Enjoy a comfortable, air-conditioned environment with professional-grade gear and expert support. Contact us now or visit our Abuja location to reserve your spot.
Welcome back from that short break. It's still Trendz with LJE, where we dissect leadership, economic and justice issues in Nigeria, Africa and the globe. And joining me today is development strategist, Mr. Shedrack Oka. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, society and political analyst, Mr. Hope Joseph Joe. Thank you for coming today.
I'm grateful to be here this morning, Mohammed. Thank you.
All right. So we have some very interesting stories making the headlines today. The first of them is that APC vows to displace Tinubu's administration, cites intimidation as barrier for governors. This was reaffirmed in its commitment to unseat the current president, dismissing concerns about the absence of serving governors in its ranks. ADC spokesperson Malam Bolaji Abdullahi stated that the governors are hesitant to join due to intimidation they face from the current administration. He asserted that Nigerians are unhappy with the government and are ready for an alternative, which he claims is ADC. Abdullahi also dismissed predictions by ruling party politicians that the ADC will collapse, emphasizing that the ADC is a movement backed by Nigerians seeking freedom from the current crisis. Interim National Chairman Senator David Mark added that the North is bleeding profusely and the ADC possesses the solution to restore the region's fortunes. Former SGF Babachir Lawal further stated that the Northern leaders are mandated to advance the region's interests through ADC, dismissing fears of electoral manipulation in 2027 and insisting that the votes will count. The first question goes to you, Mr. Shedrack Oka. The ADC claims that the serving governors currently are not joining them due to intimidation, so particularly from the government. Now, what does this suggest about the political climate in Nigeria, and how might such perceived intimidation affect the landscape of party affiliations and democratic expression?
Well, I don't know what the ADC mean by intimidation, stopping some governors from joining their ranks. But I do admit, like with every leading government or administration, they will not sit back, and just allow the governors move at will. That is talking politics. It happened in 2015. It wasn't an easy run when 5 governors called themselves the new PDP. And of course, there were some that stayed back, like Niger State, like Jigawa State. They say they will stay back and ensure they sink the PDP from within. And that is why sometimes when I see Sule Lamido talk, I just wonder, as if they think most of us had forgotten some of the roles they played in destroying their own party. But back to the ADC, I do admit It is not unseating a sitting president is not an easy feast. Contrary to what they are even alluding to, intimidation by the current administration, stopping governors from joining in. To me, it gives me a clue that these people don't really understand what they are up to. Since the emergence of the ADC as the face of the coalition against the leading APC, I, for once, think they have not done enough in terms of public sensitization, to take advantage, unlike what happened in the Labour Party and the P2B, which was very short-lived. It was just few months to the election. But they have 2 years to prepare. I thought by now, they would have taken advantage of the moment, to sell their sentiment to the larger majority of Nigerians. But they are not doing that. After all, there is also the stigma of the people that came together to, form the ADC as a coalition are part and parcel of the people Nigerians have always accused as the people that threw us to this mess. The old faces like David Mark and the rest are there. So what guarantee that the Nigerian public is going to really buy into the ADC as the face of opposition? So they should not also just sit back and feel Nigerians are just there as a cash cow. It is not true. As far as I'm concerned, the ADC for now is not the face of the real opposition that will unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There are other political parties. And of course, we are waiting for the ADC. It is about the candidate that you choose. We need to unseat President Tinubu. You need to bring up a candidate that have pedigree way above the competitor. The major person, which is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If you bring his friend, people who are they are friends. It is a party thing. So we Nigerians are looking forward to political parties throwing up candidates of repute, of competence, and someone who has public appeal. So it is not about the political party. Like I said, 2023 was not about political party. 2015, the unseated President Jonathan was not about political party. It was about the feelings and the yearnings of Nigerians being fed up with the system. And they went for an alternative. But it's a mistake that happened. Nigerian public took record. And they saw that it was not going to, after 2015, it was anything outside Jonathan is okay for us. But we discovered that in trying to show your grievance, you cannot just say anything to replace the person you are dissatisfied with. That's why we got a Buhari who took us 40 years backward without apologies. He took us 40 years backward. But now, in succeeding Buhari, yes, they maintained. Tinubu came in. People canvassed over Lagos economy and all that. They forgot that Lagos economy was a bogus economy, borrowing economy. And today, where we are, he's borrowing 20 times what Buhari borrowed. And of course, his mantra was, I will continue where Buhari stopped. Nigeria did not really look at where Buhari stopped. Buhari stopped where he took us 40 years back. He said he's going to continue from there. But of course, Nigerians showed their resilience by voting for someone else. Without apologies, it showed, popular vote showed, the results showed Nigerians that this current president was not popular among the people. But yet, INEC, declared that he's the winner. There are a lot of grievances. So what ADC should do right now is not about how many governors that came to you. Nigerians are the people voting. It's not the governor. Like I've said here repeatedly, all those governors defecting to APC for one reason or the other, most of them are going to lose election. Senators, House of Rep members in APC, PDP, they are going to lose election, including the ones that was voted under Labour Party. More than 90% of them are not going to return. Because when they voted for them, they are supposed to be the leading voice of opposition. But today, they are, hand in glove with the sitting government. But like I said, ADC should just do well. The only thing that will save the ADC to enjoy themselves before Nigerians is to throw up a candidate of repute that is well in pedigree above the person they are competing with. That is the only thing that will see them. But all the excuses of intimidation on the governors, we don't fancy the governors. They are not satisfying their people. If not, any governor that has the backing of his people will not be intimidated by the federal government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shedrack. Mr. Hope, is it simply enough to rely on public votes? Many APC stalwarts in various interviews have mentioned that the APC is very strong in various polling units and they have the backings of already existing governors. Right now, APC insists that despite not having serving governors, it remains a formidable force, with the backing of discontented Nigerians. Is it simply enough, or how realistic is it for a political party to challenge a ruling party effectively without significant representation at the gubernatorial level, especially in the Nigerian context?
Well, let's start with the section 14 of the 1999 Constitution, says that the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be ruled by the principle of democracy and social justice. And what is democracy? Government of the people, for the people, and by the people.
Yes.
And that section 14.2 talks about the sovereignty of Nigeria. The sovereignty of this country belongs to the people of Nigeria, through which they derive the power to make constitution. That is to say, people and constitution. So people are the people that sit down together to make the constitution. So that is to tell you how powerful people, people are relevant when it comes to democracy. Now the question is, do we vote for party or do we vote for the people or person? Because no matter how you look at it, only one vote will count.
Yes.
But the question now is, do people go for party or do people go for individuals? During the 29th May celebration, President made a statement and said, well, I'm not in any way encouraging people not us to have their opposition. As a matter of fact, having opposition is the beauty of democracy. You need to have strong opposition, a vibrant opposition to checkmate, the ruling body to know if they are even doing what they should do. Now, politically, he was right to also say, even if you still have one party system, I have no problem with that. So he said two things. Democratically, he frowns at it. Politically, he agrees with that because he wants to go to second term. And the only way for him to go is for other governors to don't join them. Why have we not asked why the governor of Akwa Ibom decided to defect to APC? There is something they are not telling us. And this is what they are trying to push. And that is why if you start to be a strong opposition, you can talk about the life of Douala, a man that came out publicly to say this government has nothing to offer. He's now one of the spokesperson to the president. And they are trying to bring in people that are very strong. So they try all they can to bring them to the party. That is the game of politics. I can't even blame them because we Nigerians, sometimes we let ourselves to be used. Yeah. We worship politicians, not minding whether they are doing the right things or not. So you can't even blame them because, so that is why we Nigerians, we the followers, we the electorate, we have to grow to that mind, we have to that position to know, to be able to assess our leaders, to know if we can vote them or not. I don't care anything that the APC will say, ADC will say, what party is the one that will vote. And we pray that electoral reform should come so that we can, vote for leaders we want. Now, talking about the ADC statement or pronouncement, it still boils down on the people. Yeah. Don't forget, the senior president the other time made a statement where the plenary was going on. He said, I noticed some people are already going to ADC party. And they said today, that was a very strong statement. For the senior president to identify few people that have already attended ADC party. So they are watching them. They are not just like a party. They are watchdog. If as a matter of fact, if as not to be corrected, they may even set up people now to be watching the movement of so many people. That is what is going on now. So if you make any step to want to defect, they will come for you. That's just the truth. They will come for you not for the maybe bullying you, or they may want to make you, to weaken you. And so these people, politicians, they don't want to leave the seat. They enjoy what they want to remain there forever. So they want to protect their stomach as well. So what we are seeing now is politics that is already playing, but the election is electorate that will vote. We need a lot of electoral education or politics, people to go through a lot of orientation in terms of understand the fact that when that time comes, don't say your vote. Take time and select your leaders. Political statement, you can't take it out of the system. But we, the electorate, should know who we are to vote for. Not by the party, but by the individual that has the capacity to defend us, to represent us as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hope, for that heartfelt and passionate response. The next story we have is Charlie Boy blasting Lagos State LG over renaming of the Charlie Boy bus stop. The veteran singer and activist, widely known as Charlie Boy, has strongly criticized the Bariga Local Government Council Development LCDA for removing the name of a particular bus stop and replacing it with the music star Olamide. This move was part of a new street naming initiative that also honored other prominent Nigerian entertainers. Charlie Boy condemned the decision as an attempt to erase his legacy due to his activism and resistance. In a social media post, the 75-year-old artist asserted that while they can rename a place or change a signboard, they cannot rename a legacy or erase his spirit or silence his voice that has challenged oppressors for decades. He further argued that the move reflected fear of his unwavering stance against oppression and injustice. Charlie Boy reminded the public that the Charlie Boy bus stop name originated from the people who embraced him, not politicians. He insisted that no change in signage could erase the influence or the history he helped shape, and declaring that you cannot erase fire. Area father, no day finish. First question for you, Mr. Shedrack. Charlie Boy views that the renaming of the bus stop is an attempt to erase his legacy, due to his activism. How significant are public spaces and their renaming conventions in preserving cultural memory and acknowledging the contribution of public figures, particularly, those known for activism? In fact, this government has been known for renaming a lot of things.
It's what's sad when I got the news because of how it greeted me very differently. It has to do with the sea struggles that we as Nigerians have been with the fact that history was almost erased from our curriculum as a people, and that did disservice to our people and our children unborn. While we are still struggling with bringing back history real time because of its significance and the role it plays in shaping our culture and also shaping our destiny as a people, here we come Lagos State for the wrong reasons again. I don't really know. I felt very sad because Lagos, the Yoruba people, are one of the foremost ethnic group that are seen to be very enlightened, civilization in Africa, in the country, and also take their space in the world. But to see this kind of, ethnic, which I say so, ethnic, correlation, and then the things that they do does not promote unity in the country. When Lagos was celebrated, Lagos at 50, we saw the coloration of trying to erase some memory of the contribution of Igbos in Lagos. I'm talking about Igbos as an ethnic nationality now. But today's news, I'm not going to take Charlie Boy as a brand name from his ethnic, coloration, but as a Nigerian.
Yes.
Because for all we care, the brand name Charlie Boy, area father, or how you want to put it, does not connotes an Igbo person. It showed a resilient spirit of a Nigerian. And this man, though we call him Boy, Charlie Boy, old enough to be Sanwo-Olu's father. He's over 15 years older than Sanwo-Olu. So as a Yoruba person, he's old enough to be his father. I mean, biologically old enough to be his father. And I want to say, Charlie Boy, see the irony. Charles Oputa, area father, is one of those persons who could say is a son of the establishment. He's one of a reputable judge in Nigeria. You can't mention 10 judges in Nigeria, the history of Nigeria, without mentioning Oputa, or even top 5 or top 3 without mentioning Oputa. So he is one person that would have gotten anything he wants from the system, anything, oil well, anything he wants. But right from time this young man decided his fate to go against the establishment and stood for the people. And for what he has contributed in terms of activism, after the order of Fela, when Fela was leaving the stage, he was there. Even when Fela was there, but when Fela left the stage, you can't talk about an individual who came from a very rich background. Like I said, qualified to be a son of the establishment, but chose the street against the people. But what he has been contributed in terms of human capital development and activism, interventions, social intervention, and what have you, it is very sad, like he himself quoted, that the name Charlie Boy, I am a Lagosian, that happens to be I'm from Uroshoki, Lagos, so that happens to be my area. So the name did not come from convenience. It is the people, it is associated with the people, with the movement. And so for 1,000 years to come, people want to know everything about Charlie Boy because he's in his 70s, and by the grace of God, God bless him, he lives over 100 years, he will go. And people who are going to come 30 years after will not meet him. They want to know. So that alone holds a strong place in history, not just for Lagos, but for Nigeria and the black race at large. So trying to rename it, there are two injustices that it's going to do. One, I just mentioned the historical background for which that name comes and the role it has played in shaping the history of Nigerian activism. And the second thing is that trying to now use Badu, Olamide, another enterprising Nigerian. You see, Lagos State is a disservice to Badu because you are trying to limit it. You don't know what this young man represents in the entertainment industry. He's one of the foremost contributor to human capital development. When you talk about the young people coming up, artists, whether Yoruba, whether Hausas, it doesn't matter. This young man has invested so much in them. So Olamide should be given a national award. It is not about renaming a street after him, and you are trying to replace one district to the other. I want Lagos State government and Nigeria listening to me to take a cue from a striker called Romelu Lukaku. He's a black man from Belgium, who, after the politics that played up to train away Osimhen for what he holds with Napoli, he was given jersey number 9. Romelu Lukaku, an African brother, rejected to wear jersey number 9. He protested against the feelings of Osimhen and insisted to take another number. He said it would be a disrespect to that young man. And indeed, the whole world transfer, including Nigeria, that were not happy how Napoli treated Osimhen. But this time around, their spirit went after Lukaku for what he did. Little wonder you can see the narrow margin in which Napoli retained the title because the people were happy with Romelu Lukaku for what he did, African solidarity. But this is Lagos, trying to pit one artist against the other. Olamide will be respectfully, like for me, if I were Olamide, I would reject it. Let them go ahead and as a person, I will reject it because if you want to, immortalize Olamide, or for whatever reason, there are a lot of things you can do for him. Olamide represents something more, especially in this digital age, something more. So the Lagos State government trying to honor Olamide for what he has done should think of something else and not to rename, Charlie Boy bus stop to this. We are trying to erase, cultural, heritage and history of the people for what Charlie Boy brand represented in Lagos State. And but people can read ethnicity into it. They have the right to rename certain things, just like they rename the ISIS, which I know the next administration is going to upturn that. People should know the significance of name. You don't just wake up one morning and name it. These things, mean so much beyond the politics. Lagos State, we should know that there is life after now. You are fortunate to take the second tenor. That is how your principal treat Ambode. First of all, to pitch his tent against the Igbos in Lagos, started destroying their market, and so that by the time he comes for him, he will not have somewhere to fall back to. And that's what happened. And they throw him out like a common politician on the street. And today he's in the dustbin of history. So please, Sanwo-Olu is an enlightened fellow. Please don't play politics with everything. This is history. This means a lot to Nigerians, not just about Charlie Boy or the Igbo. That brand there, it represents the resilient spirit of the Nigerian people. He should not tamper with that.
And thank you. And talking about history, the Super Falcons again have made a traumatic, emphatic, and amazing victory just in Saturday's Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON by defeating the host nation Morocco in a dramatic 3-2 comeback victory at the Olympic Stadium in Rabat. This record-breaking win has drawn widespread praise across Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu spoke with the team via video call shortly after the triumph, expressing that the nation's pride and pledging officially to celebrate their success upon their return. He specifically lauded their key performers like Esther Okoronkwo, who was the woman of the match and whose penalty sparked the comeback. Folashade Ijamusi, who also scored the equalizer, and Jennifer Echegini, who netted the winning goal. President Tinubu has also commended the team's captain and tournament MVP Rashidat Ajibade for her leadership. In response, Ajibade expressed gratitude for the timely payment of bonuses and allowances and assured the president that the trophy would be brought home. Mr. Hope, this is a very good victory. The Super Falcons, it's a source of national pride, demonstrates consistent excellence in women's football. How can Nigeria leverage this success to further develop sports infrastructure and support for female athletes, ensuring that sustained performance and, inspiration for future generations of sportsmen and women?
Well, first and foremost, congratulations to the Falconets for the great achievement, 10 times African champion. And, it's a good result, but for me, I feel we should do better at the global stage. Ever since the World Cup, we started participating in the World Cup in 1991. We have not really done much apart from the fact that we were knocked out of the tournament by the England female team. Well, that was a superb display from them. They really did well. But we should think of the World Cup now. We have to start now to prepare for the World Cup that's coming up in 2027.
Yes.
We need to get the cup if possible. We have what it takes. Kudos to the women. It's a good one. At least we have a better replacement. Shola may not be playing again.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, even if she did not retire, I don't think any good coach would want to see use her.
Yes.
Except that he has to be there to build up the spirit of the team.
Exactly.
But we saw he couldn't do well apart from the first match she played. So kudos to them. But Nigerians are expecting them to do well in this time around the next World Cup. So you're asking me, what do we do? Early preparation is very, very important. There should be reward. You know what has kept us this far. We don't have that ethical reward system in a sense that once something like this happens, there should be a reward system to encourage them to do more. Then what that happens, other junior ones that are coming up, we say, okay, fine, these girls are well taken care of. We can also play hard to also represent them. It's not a special once they are this year is gone, we'll not be looking for another people to replace them. So one, we have better replacements for the other good teams because most of the teams like Oyela may not be playing the next World Cup because of age. So what we are saying is that they should do more. The government has a lot to do. We should start now to prepare for the World Cup coming up in 2027. And grassroots sports has to be, developed in the sense that we should organize more sports out there. We have a situation where recently we must give kudos to the government as well. But we still need to work in our local league, our football local female team. Local league. We have to look into that because that is where we can get better players to replace the national team. So it's a two-way thing. The global stage. Coming up to down to our local stage, we should also do it. So kudos to the Super Falcons for the job well done. I will expect them to do more. But let me also react to what my brother said here concerning the last issue you raised.
Okay.
Some can be politically right. Yeah. But morally wrong.
Yeah.
I know they will say, they have the right to name names. Fine. But morally, is it good? Taliban have done well. We know Olumide has done well, but I want to put it to you. If Olumide it was a mission of those, he wouldn't have excelled now. The way he's excelling now.
Yes.
Because we know that certain music he has sung that I know if it was before, we would not have, we won't have sold.
Yes.
But the question is, thank God for the digital area, thank God for YouTube and so on. Whether we like it or not, Charlie Boy, I've known that from the time I was very small. As a musician. And just like he has said, if not for the nothing, but for the father, renaming it, I don't know what the government stand to achieve. When we have so many streets, you can also rename if that is a problem. The government of the day, the president, the governors, should be a game changer, not a name changer. We have seen a government that is interested in changing names. I don't know how names will help the society. There should be a game changer because we voted them there to do to provide welfare and security for the citizens, not changing them. So when you come and changing them, and look at what the president is doing, and they're following the president's footsteps. Because anytime the president will be changing names, you change the name from one place to another. The question is, how has that improved, or how has that changed the situation already on ground? So the president, please be a game changer, not a name changer.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. Our last story for today is a quite interesting response coming from the Minister Umahi, who rebuked Kwankwaso's claim of northern marginalization. Recall in our previous episode, we mentioned that Kwankwaso claimed that northern Nigeria were grossly marginalized, and right now there is a response coming from the APC. Umahi labeled Kwankwaso's statements as mischievous and misleading information designed to deceive northerners. He advised Kwankwaso to abandon thoughts of inheriting the legacy of the late President Muhammadu Buhari, emphasizing that genuine leadership requires hard work, honesty, and commitment to national unity, not deceit. Umahi provided figures of ongoing road projects across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones to counter Kwankwaso's assertions. He stated that out of the total length of the 4 major legacy roads projects, The North had 52% and the South had 48%. And within the current ongoing project, the North has 756 kilometers by 3 lanes compared to the South with 409 kilometers by 3 lanes. Umahi specifically highlighted projects like the 1,068 kilometer Sokoto Badagry Superhighway with 378 kilometers currently ongoing in the North, and numerous other significant projects in the North and South. He concluded by questioning why people focus solely on Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway when other substantial projects are underway across Nigeria, especially in the North. Question for you, Mr. Shedrack. The Minister Umahi has provided detailed figures to counter Ponkoso's claim of northern marginalization in infrastructure development. How crucial is this data-backed communication in addressing public accusations of national bias, and what challenges exist in effectively conveying such information to the general populace?
Well, I think Ponkoso, very unfortunately, wants to put himself as one of the people that are very laid back. He's a very enlightened and one of the most qualified people in the last presidential race. But I think he's forgetting himself. The North that he used to know is no longer the North of today. Nigerian youths, especially from the North, are not those that will sing Rankadede for any politician. They have used and dumped and deceived the Northern youths for too long. This time around, people don't feed by the garbage that politicians just dish out all the time. Just to do divide and rule. When it is convenient for them, they go to the bars and make friends with politicians, eat with them and all that. But when it's time to play politics, they remember they are coming from somewhere. The Northerners, he cannot be speaking for the North in that manner. I try to use propaganda, to win sympathy, including the Kano State that I'm telling you this time around in Kano State, if elections, I challenge any politician, if election vote will count, if INEC is not going to be partisan and allow vote to count, I can tell you, Ponkoso cannot command 40% vote in the North. I mean, in Kano State. Ponkoso cannot command 40% clinical vote from Kano State. So all this propaganda that they are throwing, you cannot, if you want to criticize. The last time I said it, I never needed data from Umahi. It is very clear in the public. So northern youths are very enlightened. These days, politicians cannot use religion, use ethnicity, to gather them and pitch them against somebody from the South. It is not. Those statistics are there, just like the minister read. It is true. But what I cannot justify, what I cannot, confirm from the minister is whether those projects are ongoing realistically. But in terms of the allocation, the minister is correct. The other time they say they commissioned 30, kilometer road from the Calabar Super Highway, Coastal Road. But it turned out not to be there. The contractor said keep reading nearly, and they turn out propaganda to say it is. So all of those things, whether it is done, it's completely what I cannot confirm. But in terms of the allocation, the minister is right. The North, because by configuration, the North has 19 states, the South has 17. So when you want to share project, it is natural that the North will have more. So it is also in terms of employment and what have you, the North have more. In terms of project. So what Ponkoso is trying to do is just to, whip sentiment. But Ponkoso is a Tinubu man. He will not deceive anybody here. That's the reason why he's not NNPP. Most times they've had issues with him several times. Politicians will go to the bar, get contract, get money, sign some deals, and just come out, let me criticize you so that people will think I'm against you. But when they come to real politics, they are doing something different. He is not speaking from a patriotic sense of view for the Northerners. Not just because he loves the North and what project to go to the North. Like I'm challenging the other time. Since you left government, what have you done for Northern youths as a person who have benefited from government since 1979? Ponkoso was there before I was born. Enjoy political capital up to the personally as an individual. What have you done to inspire good leadership from Northern North and trying to bridge the gap between the North and the South and making Northern youths, to have that sense of competition with their Southern counterpart? It is not that they are just playing politics and using Northern life to incite people. That's an incitement. You cannot continue to incite the Northern youths against their counterpart in the South. Nigeria is one, and I can tell you, Northerners are no longer going to buy all those, sentimental statements from you people, political statements from you people, just to, with sentiment. They are focused. What Northern youth want is a patriotic Nigeria that will take the helm of affair and turn Northern region, which is an aggregated economy, into another powerhouse in the world, not just in Africa. We are tired of being giants of Africa. We want to compete with the world because Nigeria have the endowment, the capacity to compete with the top 5 nations in the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shekan. Over to you, Mr. Hope. Beyond statistics, what are the socio-political implications of such accusations of marginalization? And how can the federal government ensure that the government projects are not only equitably distributed, but also perceived as such by all regions?
You know, when it has to do with section 14 is up to paragraph B, says that welfare and security shall be the primary responsibility of every government. Now, let's look at North. Talking about the road is not even the issue now. One of the issues is one of the issues, but that's also one of the major issues. We have issues of security and insecurity, you know, in the North, and so on like that. Now, Trump also made a statement by saying, "Oh, he made mention of Abuja, Kaduna Abuja Express Route."
Yes,
but I can tell him that we should also mention the Northerners that are controlling oil wells. Yes, she also mentioned Northerners that are controlling oil wells. You should mention them. If we are to sit down to mentioning the Northerners that are controlling oil wells, you will see that even a number, even the way the oil is being produced, it's a lot of things. For me, that is badass. I mean, completely out of sense of myopic, and I mean, not even, I mean, this is not the kind of thing we know. See, if there are some countries, they can do something, can be charged for treason. Because this kind of a thing can incite people to feel that they are being marginalized. Well, we know that even all the countries are not even feeling the impact of the government in terms of road construction. Yeah. I travel by road 2 weeks, and I can tell you what I'm seeing. The roads that are there, for the past 15 years, they are still there. I mean, those that are traveling to Enugu, Southeast State can testify to that. Though, there's some parts, when you're traveling, you see the road at the point, you see the road not being constructed. You will not be asking, what is happening? The point we are saying is that statement, for those that know my colleague that knows him very well, will know it's out of political. I mean, he's trying to incite people to, you know, to react. But those that know him, maybe this JC will want to react. But those that know his history will know that he's just joking. It's a mere political statement that will not lead to anything, that will not amount to anything. As a matter of fact, he has given him the statistic to say, look, in law, they say res is for loquito. The fact speaks for itself. The problem we have is corruption. It's not that it's mentioning. It's corruption, nepotism that have eaten to the fabric of every facet of the Nigerian society and even all the agencies. It's corruption that's our problem. Politicians keep amounting well to the detriment of the people. No accountability. Doing things the way they want to do because they feel no one can hold them accountable. Nigeria should go to that point to hold the leaders accountable. If you are a governor, you should be held accountable. Once you're done, that is where we have a problem. It's the corruption. For him to say that the North are not enjoying the benefit of democracy, well, then you should start counting from the time of Jonathan. Can you also say that Jonathan did not do anything for the North? Yeah, you can't say that. So the first day, I've been to the North. I mean, I don't know what the other. I've been to Niger State. So this is the major problem we have in the country is insecurity, and it's affecting almost every facet of the society, which we keep asking the president to do more. You know, to do a lot, to do, because that's why he said. Once that is done, and we have good road network, as a matter of fact, if this country, if you know what we are doing, we should not be talking about roads anymore. We're talking about Trendz. I grew up to see Trendz. I don't know, most of the generation may not even see Trendz. I was in Abia State in Umaya Market. We used to go to Trendz railway station. We used to go and buy it from the north. They will bring it from the north. But these are reality. But you can't, if you go to that place, these things are no longer working. Good road network. If you can't use road, you can use Trendz. What is happening? These are the things you should be clamoring for the benefit of Nigerians. I want to see a country where people can push goods from the north to the east using the train. We want to see a country where people can travel here to the east using the means of train as the means of transportation. That is what can make life easier for people. But a situation where somebody says we are being marginalized, that is a very wrong statement. He has to apologize to Nigerians. The former minister of Japan, Minister of Agriculture in Japan, made a statement, and after making that statement, he resigned and said, "No, I can't make this statement." Why? Because of just a bag of rice. He came out to say, "Oh, well, this bag of rice people are complaining. People even give it to me for free." People say, "Eh? So you mean you don't even feel what we are feeling?" The man, the next day, he resigned. He said he's not going to continue. Nigerian politicians, when they sit down, after making a statement, they just apologize and resign and say, "We don't want to have. In fact, I've messed up." We need to grow to that political level. We should get to that level. This is not the kind of thing we need now. People are exposed. He should not be doing this as if he can deceive a lot of people. The Northerners are becoming wiser, but wiser not in the terms of choosing their leaders. They should know that election is just the key. You can't remove any governor apart from the process of whether you have to re-elect him or not. That is the constitutional way. They have to elect them. They should prepare their mind. Anybody that is not fit to be there should be removed through election.
Thank you very much. We'll now move straight to the comment section where we have lots of comments, but we won't be able to take all the comments. The first comment here is coming in from Miriam Anene. She says, after they change NEPA, we still they shout up NEPA. When they bring light, no be government go tell us waiting to do. That is in response to the changing of the name of Charlie Boy Street. The second comment is from Ebino Cecilia. They can change the name of the street, but they can't change the legacy and acceptance from the people that led in to the initial naming. Thank you very much for your comments. Don't forget, this conversation continues on our social media platforms. You can drop your questions as well for our honorable panels joining us today. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Trendz with LJE. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Shedrack Oka, for making it here today. And of course, political and society analyst, Mr. Hope Joseph Joe, for making it here today.
Thank you.
All right. Let's have a major look at our top stories for today. We told you that the ADC vows to displace Tinubu's administration, cites intimidation as barrier to governors. Charlie Boy blasts Lagos local government over renaming of Charlie Boy bus stop. Minister Umahi rebukes Kwankwaso's claim of northern marginalization in road projects. And in sports, Super Falcons crowned WAFCON champions for the 10th time after thrilling victory. Right, up next is a leadership dialogue by Chiko Dinaka Deli. Don't forget, you can report a violation if you face one on our website at www.ljenigeria.org. I'm Mohammed Enel Sule saying, have a lovely day ahead.
Camera rolling. Light set. Sound check. And action.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's program, a program where we get to talk about the daily affairs and legal issues with intent to educate.
This is the perfect space to create professional quality videos, recording news, podcasts, and all media content. With top-of-the-line cameras, studio lighting, soundproof spaces, we provide everything you need for a seamless shoot. Our fully equipped studio ensures high-quality production every time. Enjoy a comfortable, air-conditioned environment with professional-grade gear and expert support. Contact us now or visit our Abuja location to reserve your spot.